All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at one of the most baffling locked room mysteries of our entire lifetime. Literally, imagine a scenario that feels like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood spy thriller, except it is tragically, inextricably real.
A padlock, a sports bag, 0 fingerprints. A brilliant man was found dead, completely folded inside a sports bag, sitting in his own bathtub. And get this, the bag was padlocked from the outside, but the key to that padlock, it was found inside the bag, tucked right underneath his body. There was absolutely no sign anyone else was ever in the room. No forced entry, no struggle. I mean, how is that even physically possible? Section 1. The impossible crime scene.
So let's set up the central paradox of what investigators actually walked into at his Pimlico apartment. These forensic details are just incredibly bizarre. First off, as we mentioned, the padlock was fastened on the outside of the bag, yet the key to that exact lock was found inside underneath him. Add to that, the heating in the flat had been cranked all the way up to its maximum setting. Keep in mind, this was in the middle of August. This heat accelerated decomposition and severely blurred the timeline of his death. But honestly, the most stunning detail? 0 fingerprints. Not on the padlock, none on the bag's zip, not even on the rim of the bathtub that he would have literally had to brace himself against to get in. It was as if the entire scene had been wiped completely clean by a pro, or, as if he had never touched anything at all.
Moving on to Section 2, the spy's secret world.
To truly grasp the intensely high stakes of this mystery, we really have to look at who Gareth Williams actually was. Because he wasn't just your average guy. Williams was a literal mathematical prodigy from Wales. We're talking a guy who earned a first-class degree at just 17 and held a PhD. He was a code breaker for GCHQ and was actually seconded to MI6, the UK's secret intelligence service. Now, what's absolutely crucial here is his focus. He was a highly valuable intelligence analyst working alongside the American NSA to trace international Russian money laundering pipelines used by organized crime. So no, he wasn't a movie action hero kicking down doors. He was that rare, brilliant mind who could spot the hidden patterns in absolute oceans of illicit financial data moving across the globe. He had even recently qualified for operational deployment. Long story short, the man knew very valuable, very dangerous things.
Section 3. A fatal delay.
Okay, now we really have to look at the incredibly bizarre institutional response to his sudden disappearance. Because this brilliantly and tragically illustrates a massive turning point in the case. Right around mid-August, Williams goes completely out of contact. Yet for 7 full days, one of the most sophisticated intelligence agencies on the planet raises absolutely no alarm about their missing officer. I mean, no phone calls, no immediate door knocks, nothing. It wasn't until August 23, 2010 that police finally conducted a welfare check at his flat, which, by the way, was an intelligence safe house. That mind-boggling 7-day delay inadvertently destroyed crucial forensic evidence. Timelines blurred, decomposition heavily set in because of that extreme heat, and all that fragile physical evidence just vanished while he lay there.
Section 4. The locked bag paradox.
Let's jump back to the physical impossibility of the bag itself. I want you to treat this like you're the detective analyzing the data right now. The absolute crux of this is this massive number, 400. Investigators didn't just sit around and guess if he could have locked himself in. No, experts actively tried to climb into an identical holdall and lock it from the inside. 2 specialists attempted it over 400 times. And you know what? They failed almost every single time. They just couldn't get the zippers perfectly aligned from the inside to slip the padlock through without leaving a gap, let alone do all of that in pitch-black darkness while suffocating. Now, one expert did concede there was a microscopic theoretical chance it could be done, but let's be real. 400 failed attempts isn't a rounding error. It's a brick wall.
Which naturally forces us to ask, could he really have done this alone? Really grapple with that massive wall of failed expert recreations for a second. Combine that with the utter lack of fingerprints anywhere in the bathroom. No gloves were found in the bag. There were no injuries to his hands from frantically struggling with a lock, and absolutely no signs of a struggle in the apartment. Could he really have pulled that off?
Let's put the forensic impossibilities of both scenarios side by side. If he was alive in the bag when it was zipped up, well, an expert testified he would have been overwhelmed by carbon dioxide and lost consciousness in just 2 to 3 minutes. There simply wasn't enough oxygen in there to pull off some crazy Houdini-level contortionist trick. On the flip side, if he was already dead before going in, a pathologist noted that arranging a dead body into that severely folded, unnatural position inside the bag would have been extraordinarily difficult for anyone else to manage without leaving a single trace. Every single explanation we have requires believing something that borders on scientifically impossible.
Section 5. 3 conflicting theories.
So, we can actually take 15 years of intense speculation and cleanly break it down into 3 main camps. Let's walk through each one impartially. First up, the accident. The premise here is a private, solo misadventure gone tragically wrong. But the missing evidence is just glaring. The coroner actively rejected this idea. Plus, we have those 400 failed expert tests and the suspiciously wiped crime scene. Second, we have the intelligence angle. The premise is a professional hit covering its tracks because of his highly sensitive work. But here's the catch. Crucial details about his specific assignments were literally withheld from the inquest by a government order based on public interest. So that leaves a massive black hole in the investigation. Finally, there's the Russian claim. A former KGB defector claimed the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, the SVR, assassinated him using an untraceable poison after a botched blackmail attempt. But again, missing evidence. It remains a totally chilling but completely unproven claim from one single unverified source.
Now, his family has been very open about their strong belief that professionals were involved in this. People skilled in, as they put it, the dark arts of the secret services. Someone who could stage a scene, lock a bag from the outside, and leave absolutely nothing behind. And it's definitely worth pointing out a very unsettling coincidence from the source material. The actual building where Gareth Williams died, it was owned through a company whose name translated to Motherland in Russian. Yeah, kind of makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, right?
Section 6. Institutional dissonance.
Let's look at how all this evidence builds into a case that completely split the British establishment right down the middle. In 2012, a coroner examined all the facts and delivered a damning verdict. They stated the death was unnatural, likely criminally mediated, and that a third party was almost certainly present to lock that bag. But then, in 2013, and this was actually affirmed again after a review in 2024, the Metropolitan Police concluded it was just a tragic accident with absolutely no third party present. I mean, it is a massive, unresolved contradiction at the very heart of the official record. A coroner says it's probably a killing. The police say it's probably an accident. They literally cannot both be right. And the secret intelligence world that might actually hold that missing puzzle piece, it remains completely inaccessible to the public.
Section 7. The Uncrackable Code.
As we wrap up this explainer, we really have to honor the man himself and look at the ultimate, tragic irony of his death. Sometimes, the most secure lock in the world is a secret. Gareth Williams spent his entire life as a keeper of secrets. He was a man who could look at vast oceans of noise and find the hidden pattern. He held knowledge dangerous enough to matter to entire nations. Yet in the end, he became a puzzle that absolutely no one could solve. A locked bag in a locked bathroom with the key on the inside and 0 fingerprints anywhere. Did a man who spent his career cracking codes fall victim to the loneliest accident imaginable, or was he silenced by someone who was just incredibly good at their job? The true answer, it seems, is locked away with him forever. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think really happened in that safe house?